Hello again, my followers. Welcome to another episode of Family and Life Update. So, thank you for joining us again this week. Again, it's a weekly show that sees current events, news through the lens of faith, family, and life. And these are very important to us because we are pro God, pro family, pro life, and we want to see things that are happening not only in the Philippines but around the world and how it may affect faith, family, and life and our advocacy on really educating people and promoting that cause of faith, family, and life to not only the Philippines again but all around the world. Recently, I started also making daily shorts and daily TikTok videos on gospel reflections. So hopefully you can check it out also here on my YouTube channel. And thank you for those who have subscribed because after watching it, a lot of people have started subscribing. So we've reached 300. Woohoo! That's a big deal for me. I know there are a lot of channels out there with silver play buttons and whatever, but I'm happy for 300. Gideon 300. So thank you for joining me on this journey. For those who have subscribed through the shorts, welcome. Again, I have a weekly like a news thing that I talk about different issues that affect faith, family, and life. And I hope you join me for this as well. For those who are here because of Falu, check out the shorts as well. It's good for me actually too because it pushes me to have a regular, well, I have a regular prayer time, but to make it early because there are some times that you just push it off during the day and next thing you know it's like late at night right before you fall asleep. So doing these shorts pushes me to do it early when I wake up and film a 1 minuter. It really pushes me and it helps me become a better person, a better missionary, and that will help in everything that I do as well. So thank you for journeying with me on this. I really thankful for your support for this little project and this YouTube channel of mine. Who would have thought it would come to this? Here we are. I'm very happy and I'm very excited to make the best out of this. So just a couple of news that caught my attention this week. In China, more Chinese women delay or give up on having babies after zero COVID ordeal. Now in China, I'm not sure if it's in the whole China, but in a lot of places in China like Shanghai, they have a zero COVID policy. Meaning if there's one case of COVID, the whole city goes on lockdown. And I have some friends there who have experienced it, and it's really very, very difficult because you're not even allowed to go out of your house until all cases become zero again. Which in my opinion is it's a very difficult policy to run with because COVID, there's no cure for it. In the US, when we went there, once you get out of immigration, everyone's maskless. And from different stories of different people who have been going on trips, vacation, business trips to different countries, it's the same thing in many places around the world. People don't wear masks anymore. If they get COVID, they just treat themselves, self-quarantine and all these things. It's become a part of life. And maybe having a zero COVID policy is very, very difficult. And as you can see, it has an effect on women, Chinese women, who decide to delay or even give up having babies after that COVID ordeal, which isn't good again for China and a lot of countries around the world that already have declining birth rates. So through decades and decades of promoting contraception, family planning, lessening the amount of babies, promoting abortion, a lot of women, a lot of married people don't even want to have babies anymore, and you can see a decline in their birth rate. So at the end of the day, they will end up having to convince their population to have more babies because the ones they have now don't want to have babies anymore, and it's becoming a problem in many countries, the Western countries. So for those pushing contraception, abortion here in the Philippines, just look at them again. Look at what's happening around the world, and you will see a lot of countries are struggling because of this way that they've been pushing abortion, contraception, family planning. They're suffering for it now, and you can see the ill effects of it as they move forward using that. So let's take a look at China. Hopefully they can revisit that policy. They can see that COVID, unfortunately, is really a way of life, and we just have to deal with it. But life has to go on. The 2 years of the lockdown, especially here in the Philippines, was very, very difficult. And I don't think a lot of people will be able to go through that again. We just have to learn to live with the realities that we face and make ourselves healthier, still be safer, still be aware of your surroundings, and make yourself better, not only physically, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Okay, so that's for China. Next thing, there's been an uptick in a lot of news articles about who can be the next pope. So there are two people that are being floated. There's Cardinal Erdo and Cardinal Tagle of the Philippines. Now, people say that if you go into a conclave where they pick the next pope, thinking that you're a papabile or you can be a pope, you exit a cardinal. So people are saying, don't talk about it, because if he enters the conclave saying that, hey, Cardinal Tagle might be pope, eventually he will not become pope, because that's the saying they have. But it's just interesting that there's such an uptick in different articles about it. Pope Francis, there's a lot of news that he will resign, but he says he won't. And then there are a lot of news again like this. So it's just something worth mentioning on Family Life Update, because something like this will really have an effect on our Catholic faith and the way we do things, because the Pope is the leader of all the Catholics around the world. It's very interesting how they compare these two cardinals that are could be the next Pope, conservative and progressive. It's very interesting that they frame Cardinal Tagle as progressive when we are a very conservative Catholic country. So maybe maybe people are just reading him wrong. But I am hopeful that he still sticks to his conservative roots, and that would be just an awesome. The whole Philippines, again, I said this a few episodes ago. The whole Philippines will just go crazy if ever that happens. But okay, we're not supposed to talk about it, because if you enter a pope, you exit a cardinal. And anyway, Pope Francis is still there. He hasn't said anything. All right. So that's the second one, and the third one is also interesting. The Pontifical Academy for Life on Twitter said that Humanae Vitae is not an infallible document, meaning it can be changed. And I think that's very concerning for a lot of us who are really promoting the teachings in Humanae Vitae for the cause of the family and the cause of life. It's a beautiful teaching. It was something that people didn't expect when it was released, because the church was leaning towards contraception at that time. So Humanae Vitae defended the sacredness of life and marriages and the marital act and all these things. And we have so many teachings: theology of the body, we have live pure, we have live life, and all these other things that we are basing it on Humanae Vitae. And it's such a strong teaching that really grounds the family relationships and the church grounds them in beautiful things and strong things that will really preserve the family and preserve society. So I hope it was not intentional. Maybe there's just a rogue tweeter in that Pontifical Academy for Life, for life, especially because they're for life. And hopefully there are no changes. We need to keep praying and being vigilant that there will be no changes in this teaching, because that will really put everything into a tailspin, and it will really have very ill effects on the Catholic Church. If Roe v. Wade changed things for the US for the better, if they change Humanae Vitae, that will change everything for the worse. And we need to keep praying and keep being vigilant about these things. The Philippines, one last thing. It just came out maybe I think yesterday or the day before. Our namesake, Robin Padilla, unfortunately, is promoting very liberal bills in the Senate. He has filed very liberal bills in the Senate. And that's very unfortunate. But we need to keep fighting. We need to keep be vigilant, and we need to keep speaking out against these bills, because he says that these liberal bills that he filed, you can see it in different countries. But he doesn't show the effects of these liberal bills on marriages, on families, on the children, on society. And it's just very easy to see that these things have destroyed society for so many decades. And a lot of countries are trying to rebuild. But of course, when you are under the influence of lobbyists and other strong personalities behind you, then they will not tell you these things. So Senator Robin, since we're the same family name, I hope we can talk about it. Maybe we'll send you a letter soon and we can discuss this and really give you the real side of the story that is happening all around the world, and how these things, these bills, these liberal bills are really affecting these countries in negative ways. You have to see that as well. So let's continue to pray for the Philippines and the world and many other things that are happening. Again, thank you for joining us this week. And for those following the shorts, see you again every day. And that's Falu for today, how we look at different things happening here in the Philippines and around the world through the lens of faith, family, and life. See you again next week through Falu, and again, Gospel Shorts every day. See you. God bless.